Thanks for coming back to day 2. Now let's get back to boat hunting at the harbor of Busan. Back at the observation point, I saw another ship. And this was an interesting ship because it was parallel to my position, so I could see it broadsided. And that ship was about right here. Not very far out. And I want to give you a measurement to it. So let's measure this ship. Distance is 3.74 miles. Doesn't seem like that far. Now when we put that into the curve calculator, let's see what it shows what you should be seeing. There's nothing hidden, which is kind of what I was seeing because my original observation height was 38 feet. But that's not the end of this story. I just want to show you quick how I found that particular ship once I had identified it in the ocean. So if we use this really neat little website, Marine Traffic, shows virtually every ship that's in the ocean. So here is the harbor that I was at, or the bay I was at. So we're going to turn on just cargo vessels. Now you can see this is current time. This is today, right now. Now the ship that I was looking at isn't there right now. It has actually moved. It is down here. And I'll show you how I figured out which one it was. The Herma P. So that is the cargo ship that I was looking at. And you can click here and it'll show you the past track of that vessel. Now you can see it came into port on the 20th. Steamed in this way. Here we've got that little set of islands where that lighthouse is. There's a waypoint there, and you see all of this movement in here. This is while that ship was just docked at harbor, and the anchor point was at one end of the ship, and it was just swaying back and forth, back and forth. So it entered this point on the 20th at 14:53 UTC, and it left pretty much 2 days later. So that ship sat there docked for 2 days. So if you look up in the top right corner, you can see the actual location of the ship while it would have been parallel to the shoreline that I was looking at. This is the data that I used to input the exact location of that ship into Google Earth, so I knew how far away from me it was. I told you that this ship caught my attention. And what caught my attention was that I could actually see the propeller at the back of the ship. This ship is riding extremely high in the water because it has no cargo on top of it, and the propeller is actually partially exposed to the air. When I first noticed that, I wondered if I got closer to the waterline, would my perspective change? So I picked up my camera and I moved about halfway down the beach, and then I took this shot from about a 20-foot elevation above the water. And then I moved down to the waterline and literally put my tripod in the water and took this shot. At a distance, it might not appear to be much, but when you zoom in, the results are pretty obvious. Now, I want to show you the math of precisely what I'm looking at. I could not find a picture of this exact ship's propeller, but from my research, they're about 29 feet tall, and here you can see the general look of those propellers. And if you look at the 4 and 5 meter mark, that's about how much, if not a little bit less, would be sticking out of the water. So that is what we were looking at, 2 to 3 feet at most. At 38 feet elevation, there's no horizon hiding anything. We can see the entire propeller, as you can clearly see in the image. When I move down to 20 feet elevation, it's the same. There's nothing being hidden. But now also you can see it's a more direct side-on view of the propeller. And when I move down to the 4 feet mark, and honestly that's being generous, my camera was probably more closer to 3 feet, we have at least 1 to 1.5 feet of our observing target obscured by the curvature of the Earth. And you can clearly see that because the propeller is virtually gone. The propeller is virtually gone. And if you think this is a trick of waves, or it was rough seas, or something else. Here's another series I took later on in the day, and it's even more stark what you're looking at. All of the information for my location and equipment is posted below. I've even created a public folder on Google Drive for all of the original images for anybody to look at and verify yourself. If you can find a better reason, a more logical reason, backed up by evidence, as to why that propeller disappeared when I got to 4 feet, I invite any and all discussions and debates. But for me, I think I see the curve. If you've made it this far, I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you have decided that my content is valuable enough for you to take the time to actually pay attention and watch. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and comment below and tell me what I got wrong. I do my best to respond to any and all comments below. So if you disagree with me, let's start a dialogue, and maybe in the end, we can agree on something. Until next time, stay flat.